From Edgewater Presbyterian Church, this is Jerry. Now, the fact that I had to meet with a couple of the Edgewater Mutual Aid volunteers about my plan for an ice raid during the most basic thing of giving out food to hungry people not only saddens me, it angers me to my core. It was just three of us talking this morning outside. The other volunteers were starting to gather on the church steps, stamping their feet against the fall chill, chatting softly and keeping a lookout as they did for those government agents, as they waited to come in and start separating the produce donations into little bags. Eggplant, bitter melon, lemongrass, tomatillos, tomatoes, among other things. It was the weekly work of feeding neighbors in need. Now, these are volunteers who've always been ready for direct action. They've trained, they've shown up for protests, they've helped organize marches and safety plans, but this morning felt really different. The air carried something heavier than the autumn chill. It was anxiety, a low hum beneath every conversation that we were having, a shared look in every passing glance as trucks and cars passed by on Bryn Mawr Avenue. Because all day yesterday, ICE and CBP agents were in our usually quiet lakefront neighborhood, detaining people, or rather abducting people, dragging them into unmarked SUVs driven by masked and unidentifiable villains of the state. That's what they are, villains. The kind who make neighbors disappear and then claim it's for law and order. So here we are, trying to plan for something no one should ever have to plan for. What to do if those same black SUVs roll up while we're just trying to give out food? What to do if compassion becomes confrontation? We talked through the basics, who would be on the lookout, who would document, who would calm people down. It all sounded so methodical, so strangely clinical, as if we were planning a fire drill instead of bracing for the Trump administration to descend on our doorstep, literally. And as we spoke, I could hear the muffled laughter of volunteers outside, laughter that felt fragile, like it could shatter with the sound of the next siren. I looked toward the sanctuary just beyond the fellowship hall wall. Inside that space, I imagined Pastor Barbara Cathy, baptized children, Allison Mann led us in our hymns, Pastor Kristen Hudson, our current pastor, praying for peace every Sunday, and now, on the other side of the wall, we were preparing for violent raids. This is what it has come to. The work of hospitality shadowed by the machinery of fear that has set in here in Chicago. It's hard to describe what that does to the soul of a city like ours. But if you've ever stood in that tension between generosity and danger, you know that it's not an abstract feeling. It's real. It's the Chicago front. And yet, despite the fear, despite the exhaustion, I know these volunteers will keep showing up. And these are the kind of people they are. They're all younger than me. These are the kind of young people they are. And they'll keep bagging the produce, welcoming the hungry, praying with one eye on the door, because love, real, embodied love, does not retreat.